Hi there and welcome to the Huddle's post-game recap. I'm Keith Schweigert and boy do we have plenty to talk about tonight. There were some unbelievable finishes happening all around the Lancaster-Lebanon League and all three section title races were affected. So let's get to it. We'll start in Section 1 where arguably the game of the night went down in Neffsville when Warwick visited Manheim Township. The Blue Streaks came in tied with Wilson for first place in the section and were looking to set up a big showdown with the Bulldogs next week. But Warwick threw a wrench into those plans, pulling off a 31-30 stunner in the game's final minute. Tyler Tremarchi hit Evan Popalis on a Hail Mary for a 43-yard touchdown on 4th and 8 with 14 seconds left to give the Warriors the lead, and they held on from there to earn the hard-fought victory. It was the third touchdown pass of the game for Tremarchi, who also scored on a 1-yard touchdown run. Evan Saladay had 195 rushing yards, including a 73-yard TD run in the losing effort for Township. The win knocked Township out of a first-place tie and took some of the luster off next week's showdown with Wilson. However, if the Streaks can recover and beat the Bulldogs, it could force a three-way tie for first place with 2 games left. Wilson already has a win over Warwick under its belt, so the Bulldogs could pretty much wrap up their 8th straight section crown by beating Township next week. Wilson clubbed Lebanon 68-19 in its game tonight, setting a school record for most points in a game. The Bulldogs' Section 1 winning streak is at 61 games. Elsewhere in the section, Hempfield knocked off McCaskey 23-8 and Penn Manor upset Conestoga Valley 23-7. Let's move on to Section 2, where there were several nail-biters this week. We'll start with first place Cocalico, which stayed alone on top of the standings with a 34-23 victory over Garden Spot. Brandon Brubaker rushed for a pair of touchdowns, including a 55-yarder in the third quarter that put the Eagles ahead for good. Cocalico stayed a game up on Manheim Central, which stomped Ephrata 55-0. The Barons need someone to slow down Cocalico to have a shot at earning a share of the section title. Remember, the Eagles already beat Central earlier this season. Let's move on to Lampeter Strasburg, which sprung a mild upset over Elizabethtown tonight as the Pioneers engineered a game-winning 63-yard drive in the final 2 minutes of the game to pull off the victory. Todd Shelley hit Cameron Niemeyer from 14 yards out for the winning score in the game's closing seconds. Solanco also pulled off a mild surprise tonight, knocking off Cedar Crest 38-21. Eric Hopkins scored 3 touchdowns for the Golden Mules, who scored 31 unanswered points to erase an early 21-7 deficit. Finally, in Section 3, we'll start off with the Lancaster Online Game of the Week, which really wasn't much of a game. Lancaster Catholic rolled over Pequea Valley tonight 45-0 in what is reported to be the final game at Catholic's Rossmere Stadium. Brian Downey did it all tonight for the Crusaders. He ran for 3 touchdowns, hit Christian Schweigert for a 29-yard touchdown pass, and even caught a 61-yard TD bomb on a trick play. That's 5 scores in all for Downey, whose team has won 2 in a row and is just a game out of first place in the section race. Elsewhere, Anvil Cleona lost its share of the top spot in the standings tonight after dropping a 32-14 decision to Northern Lebanon. The Little Dutchmen are now a half game behind Donegal, while Northern Lebanon joins Lancaster Catholic at 2-1 in section play. Meanwhile, Elko dumped Columbia 43-24. That's 6 straight losses for the Crimson Tide, who reportedly only dressed 17 players for tonight's game. And finally, Donegal played its last non-league game of the season tonight, and I'm sure the Indians are happy about that. They lost 20-14 to Hazelton. Donegal is 0-4 against non-section competition, but the Indians are 3-0 in section play, so they're alone in first place for the moment, but they've got big games coming against Lancaster Catholic and Anvil Cleona. Both of those will be later this season. So that's going to do it for tonight's recap. Be sure to check out Lancaster Online for more details about the games and follow along next week as we get you set for Week 8. Be sure to check us out on social media as well. Until next time, I'm Keith Schweigert. Have a great weekend.